Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to SA Accounting Academy. Here's a short clip on one of our previous webinars. I hope that you really do enjoy it.
Good day, everyone. Welcome. This is going to be a guided tour through a set of IFRS for SMEs financials. So a little bit of a different session, not my normal style. I have to say I had to sit and think a little bit about how I was going to do this, especially on a webinar based type situation. And actually, it might actually work better than doing it live. But what we are wanting to do is literally work our way through a set of financial statements, discussing relevant points about disclosing a IFRS for SME set of financial statements, and talking about things to watch out for, things that need to be done, and so forth. Now, I'm sure many of you will use many different types of drafting packages. I've used Caseware, particularly in this one. DraftWorks is a partner of SAAA, so there are many different drafting packages out there, and just good old Excel and Word does the trick as well. If you've got your own templates and your own packages that you're using, that is just the tool. It is just the tool, very much like having a spanner and a wrench and a screwdriver in a toolbox. They are just there to assist you. They're there to help you be more efficient in what you do. Obviously, if you've got a drill versus having a hand drill, you can do the job a bit better. But what we are really needing to remind ourselves of is that you've got to switch on your brain. You've got to switch on your brain. You can't do this just, okay, we import the trial balance, we hit draft, and we walk away. And we just expect the financials to be done. We still have to apply our mind. We still have to see what is being said. And, I do a lot of review of financial statement drafting. Many of you send your financials to me to crit and to review and to comment on and to give feedback. And that gives you an idea that even the best drafting packages, and the ones we have in South Africa are brilliant, even the best drafting packages in South Africa, they are simply a mechanism that you can use, but you still have to go through them with a fine-tooth comb to make sure that this set of financial statements reflects the company that you're looking at. Now, I have a real problem with the way that people work with these drafting tools, because it definitely is switch computer on, switch brain off. And I want you to, through today's session, switch the brain on. Okay, so I'm not here, it's not that I am here criticizing the drafting package. I'm looking at the financials, and we are going to have a discussion about the financials. Okay, and ways to improve and what we have to think about while we go through this. So unlike other sessions where I will start with IFRS for SMEs, and we'll discuss the actual standard and how we account for the actual standard, this is actually the product of the standard and what it looks like when you're working with your clients. Now, I also want to make a note that as much as these financials are good, they are the bare minimum. Okay, this is just what's required. And the people that have put these packages together, they do try and think of everything. I have turned on absolutely every button within the package so that we could have everything to talk about and discuss. But we still have to apply our mind as we go through it. Okay, so as you can see, it's a sanitized set of financials, Karen and Karen Pty Limited. This is a fictional company. So if you find casting errors or if you find little odd bits and pieces, please bear with me. This company does not exist. This trial balance does not exist. This was solely put together for your benefit and for our fun, and also for you to maybe, another thing to take away from today, how I go through when I'm reviewing and looking at a set of financial statements and being critical of a set of financial statements. So being Karen and Karen Pty Limited, CNC Pty Limited, this is obviously going to be a training and education company because it's what I do, and it is what I know. And just to give a little bit of background and thoughts to it. One of my biggest challenges and problems when I review financials, and I've had it a couple of times in the last week, is that I often get to the end of the set of financials and go, what industry was this? I've been asked to help people with valuations, and they send me the financials and say, look, Karen, we're going to be valuing this company. And I go, well, that's great, but what do they do? And they're like, but we sent you the financials. I was like, yes, but I still don't know what they do, because nowhere in the set of financials did I get a nature of business. Nowhere did I get a sense of, even if it's a manufacturer, what do they manufacture? Where do they manufacture? Who are their client base? What is, who is this company? Okay. And that is something that is seriously lacking. It's the color and the texture of who we are working with. And only you can bring it. Okay. Only you can bring it. This is a vanilla cake batter, and we need to add it and make it into carrot cake or chocolate cake or blueberry cake or whatever it is to give the details. So starting off, we've got a February year end. Okay. Please note, in terms of the Companies Act, we need to have the company's name or the closed corporation's name or the entity's name. We need to have the registration name. These are annual financial statements, the year end that they are related to. Okay. And according to the Companies Act, whether you're doing it under Section 29 or Section 30, who prepared the financials, what is their designation? Okay. So that I'm a CA, that is my designation. So it's Karen Maitland's CASA that prepared these financials or supervised the preparation of these financials. It needs to be prominently displayed. Prominently displayed is that on the front page, is that on the cover page, is that on the index page? The debate is rife, okay, but we need to prominently display who prepared the financial statements. We also need to state prominently what level of assurance these financials have had, and that's a Companies Act issue, not an IFRS issue. The other thing that I want very clear throughout these financial statements is the date of sign-off issue. This date, which in these financial statements, 30th of June, okay, so that we're doing them within 6 months of year end, because I'm recording this today on the 30th of September. So we've got, well, actually no, I lie. We said it was a February year end. We've signed these off within 6 months after year end, so signed them off in June, and I'm now chatting to you about them at this point in time. So the issue date, this is one of the things that I straight away check when I get a set of financials to look at. I want to make sure that the issue date, the director sign-off date, the auditor date, the compiler's date, all the people that are involved in these financial statements signed off and approved these financials on the same date. That is really, really critical from a risk point of view, that the financial statements are approved, auditor, compiler, issued throughout these financials on the 30th of June. If their dates are different, you open up different risk pockets for different individuals, because who is then responsible if the director signed off on the 30th, but the auditor only signed off on the 4th? Those few days between the 30th of June and the 4th of July, the directors have said we were happy with the financials at this point, but the auditors still got a couple more days to go. There's a risk pocket there that needs to be dealt with. Okay. General information. Some of this is required. Some of this is nice to have. Okay. Some of this is giving the color to the financial statements. It's setting the scene. It's setting context. Okay. It also is a summary. So, for example, if I was doing a trust set of financials, this general information page often is a summary of the trust deed, because it's who the beneficiaries are, who the trustees are, what the objective of the trust is. And in the same light, okay, really important for me to know where this company is incorporated and operates, because things like later my functional currency and my presentation currency, if it's different, I need to know the borders. By knowing that it's incorporated and the domicile is in South Africa, I also know the laws and regulations that work with it, okay? The nature of business and principal activities. Sales of products and services. Bail, okay? In order to understand numbers, if we do not give context, and this is something that is coming more and more, okay? And this is where the craft of drafting financials, and when you get a good excellent set of financials versus just a mediocre set. It's in these things, and I want you to want to prepare excellent, awesome, gorgeous financials.
I hope that you enjoyed that video. For more of our webinar videos, go to www.accountingacademy.co.za. Thank you and have a lovely day.